So for today's video, everyone, I wanted to break down my experience recently with JustPlay and trying out the challenges and the other bonus features on the platform. I hope you enjoy. So this is what JustPlay is looking like these days, everyone, and I feel like it's an application that really doesn't have to be introduced anymore. More than likely, most of you guys should know what JustPlay is by now. Just in case you don't, you get loyalty coins for playing games on the JustPlay app. At the end of a 3-hour timer, supposedly those coins convert into real currency. Now for today's video, I wanted to do something a little bit different instead of just playing through the games themselves, okay? At least in Australia, JustPlay features some pretty bold claims. This is usually in the form of like a promotion that they're running at a certain time. For instance, for today's video, I tackled the daily challenges area. I was actually looking forward to the massive bank vault challenge. For this challenge, you have to collect 50 keys. Now, the way you actually get these keys is by going through and completing the quests. You can think of these quests as simple objectives in certain games that they want you to play for the day, because yes, this list does reset on a daily basis, so it actually will require some time. Now, the good thing is though, you don't lose your progress once the list does restart on that daily basis, everyone, so that is a positive. It does seem like these days JustPlay is really invested in trying to get you guys to complete these like little challenges throughout the application, such as this token-based one where you spin a prize wheel. Again, they claim you get the tokens by, of course, completing certain thresholds on the games they want you to play for that time. Now, they also feature the weekly pot. At the moment, at least here in Australia, there is a almost $1,400 weekly pot. But in order to actually qualify to even enter into this weekly pot, I need to have 350 gems. Yet again, they want you to play certain games to get these gems. To be fair, their daily streak system is worth a mention. I mean, at least they do have it. This is a pretty basic system, everyone. Like right here, it says play any game for 5 minutes to register for that daily sign-in. Anytime I've done it, all I've got is coins out of it, by the way. Now, JustPlay does feature, of course, an offer wall, and I did try it out for today's video, but it did not go to plan at all. And I'll explain why in a moment. For now, let me just break down my test. So the first challenge I tried to go through and complete was the massive bank vault challenge. This is what it looks like when you make progress on one of those challenges and of course collect a key. By the way, while you're doing these quests, you of course rack up loyalty coins from the games themselves. Personally, I only cared about the actual challenge itself, but I guess that is an extra bonus. Of course, once you collect all the keys for the day, you're gonna have to wait until the next day starts. So ladies and gentlemen, I tackled this challenge for 5 days straight and eventually got the last key. I found, at least in my experience, it roughly took around 1 hour each day to go through every single quest on that list. I will say though, everyone, at the end of collecting 50 keys, I was left with $1.26 worth of Australian currency before I even opened that vault. And that was obviously because the loyalty coins were being generated in the background. Now, I don't know what I was expecting, but for playing different games on a daily basis for 4 to 5 days straight, for an hour in total each day, I was hoping for something pretty decent. But when I opened that vault up, everyone, the big reward was only $1.20 worth of Australian currency. And as you can see, they really try to excite you about it. But I was actually quite disappointed, sadly. But then that left us with a grand total of $2.46 in the balance. But now there's a whole other challenge area. Just remember, they have their daily challenge as well, where you have to complete 8 challenges in the day to supposedly get the bonus. And again, this is the exact same situation as I mentioned earlier. Play the games they want you to play up to a certain point. So I played through all 8 of those challenges, ladies and gentlemen, and I was left with around 364,000 coins at the end of that, and it took around an hour to do. Once I finished that daily challenge though, I was only rewarded an extra 15 cents for my time. And that left us with a grand total of $2.79 worth of Australian currency. Now, I've talked a lot about the offer walls on JustPlay and my thoughts on how I don't really like they don't show the true value of the offers. Instead, they just show the loyalty coin value. So I figured, you know what, let's tackle one of these little offers and see what happens. Now, this is what the offer wall actually looks like, by the way. Again, very straightforward concept. If you've ever used an offer wall before, you know exactly what to expect here. I suspect that the amount of loyalty coins I get in Australia is obviously going to be different to what you'd get in your own country. So obviously do your own research in that case. I actually started an offer though, and I thought, you know what, it's offering up to 126 million coins here in my country. This should be good. So if you pay close attention here, guys, I managed to generate around 51.5 thousand of the loyalty coins. And you'll notice here it states that the install attribution has actually been successful. What that means is that essentially the Offerwall has detected that you've installed the game, so tracking should technically work. Again, there's no guarantees though with Offerwalls. I've had it where tracking doesn't work at all. I completed one of the tasks. Now the thing is, it told me I had to reach a high score of 500 in order to actually generate that 51.5 thousand almost of the loyalty coins, which I did. Notice that only 41,184 loyalty coins actually appeared in the balance. And mind you, I was sitting on $2.83 worth of currency. So here's what happened, everyone. The offer is called Block Puzzle Gems Adventure, and the goal for today's video was to try and reach a score of 10,000 where I'd get 377,000 coins for that individual threshold. So guess what, everyone? I went through and I actually managed to score 10,450, which in theory should have smashed through a majority of these little level up tasks. But I checked back on the Offerwall and I noticed it only counted that initial 500 score task instead of all the other ones that I managed to go through. So I went ahead and submitted a ticket to TapJoy to ask what exactly is going on. TapJoy is the Offerwall that JustPlay uses in my country, everyone, so I went to them directly. While I was waiting for a response from TapJoy, I checked on JustPlay again, and again paying attention here to my balance of $2.83 and the 41,000 loyalty coins I got from the offer. Once that timer ran out, we went from $2.83 to $3. So technically, me reaching a high score of 500 generated 17 cents worth of Australian currency. But here's the kicker, everyone. TapJoy ended up actually getting back to me, and I found out my account was blocked. Now, there was no reason why though, it just simply said a terms and service issue, but they didn't say what it was. And I find it absolutely hilarious that they won't tell me what actually happened. And in fact, this is one of the first times ever that I've been blocked off an Offerwall. Things could be a lot better on JustPlay, at least in my country and in my experience. But all that aside, I did activate the $3 withdrawal, everyone. And yes, I am happy to say it did arrive to my PayPal account, at least in my experience here in Australia, straight away without any issues whatsoever. The amount of effort involved to generate that $3 was quite ridiculous in my opinion, okay? We're talking easily like 6 to 7 hours worth of time. In my opinion, you just have to be really realistic with JustPlay. Although they like to push their big promotions, just be super down to earth with them, okay? And with the Offerwall situation and that massive bank vault challenge, I mean, they really got to improve that. And the whole TapJoy situation is just ridiculous. If anyone out there has ever completed an offer or one of these challenges on JustPlay like I did today, can you just let me know your experience and what exactly you got in return for your time? I'm very curious, okay? Because the Offerwall situation just really rattled me a bit. As I said, I've never had that happen before, so it's just very odd. Either way, that's my updated review on JustPlay. Alright everyone, I figured, you know what, let's open up some Pokemon packs today. We have 4 pitch black Pokemon packs that are on video right now. Going to be open up for you all. Remember, top left corner of the screen is the cost of the pack. The top right corner of the screen is the current value of the pack that I'm actually pulling, okay? So the whole goal is to obviously try and get more value than the cost of the pack. I find usually I can almost break even almost every time, but sometimes we get absolutely screwed over and sometimes we actually manage to pull some pretty decent cards. Now I'm using this time as well, everyone, to talk to you about the future of the channel. For the past 6 years or so, I've actually been reviewing reward platforms, and the thing is, everyone, over time, it's becoming less and less feasible just because of platform regulations like YouTube changing rules, or just, I guess, the platforms just not being that good at all. And while I'm always going to try and review platforms on this channel, I do want to branch out and do other things, like starting some sort of side business, for instance, and documenting from start to finish how my progress went. Like ideally, I'd love to test if I could generate some sort of revenue from starting a side business on eBay, for instance. Like, there's so many ideas I want to try, and I kind of feel like the reward niche has kept me locked down, if that makes sense, to just apps and websites. And just given how bad reward platforms have been in the last year, it really does seem like it's time to branch out and try new things on this channel, okay? I really don't want to be covering apps that give 10 cents, for instance, per hour forever. It's just a waste of time. And while it's fun to review them, realistically, I still have to try and live as well. Time is very, very valuable. I hope you enjoyed those card pulls. Thanks for listening. Now head over to my channel and watch all my new uploads for the week. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next time.